time, but days will get much better. Darling, darling, you can make it through the stormy weather. Darling, darling, please don't ever give up. Darling, darling.
Hello, everyone. Joanne, I'm going to turn it over to you to start.
Nā mihi mahana kia koutou, wahine mā. I'm just going to start our session today with a little karakia whakatau for our hui. Pauhihiri, paurarama, pau o te whakaro, pau o te tangata, pau o te aroha, te pau e here nei a tātou, mauri ora, kia ora tātou, haumi e hui e tāhiki. May clarity be yours, may understanding be yours, through reflection, through personal endeavour, through respect, the virtues which bind us as one may be filled with well-being, bound together, unified. Ngā mihi.
Thank you so much, Joanne. Hi, I'm Vicki Saunders. I'm the founder of SheEO, and welcome today to our global activation call. We do these once a month to give people a sense of what happens in this community, to have a bit of an experience. And I'm going to start by just giving a bit of an overview of what we do at SheEO, why we're here, and then we're going to hear from ventures and some activators and go into breakout rooms, practice ask if, and then come back into the main room after and close. So thank you very much for being here for the next 56 minutes. All right, here I go. So we talk a lot about noticing at SheEO. What are you noticing around you? We're really building this muscle of paying attention to the relationships that we're building, to how we're operating the world. And what I'm noticing today is that it seems that all things are pointing to our systems and our mindsets and our structures not serving us anymore. We have business models that extract from the earth with no real concern for the future. We're stuck repeating patterns that create more inequality. We celebrate billionaires who are on the verge of becoming trillionaires while billions of people go hungry. Literally, with each day that passes, we become more and more aware of the challenges we're facing, how rigged the game really is. And it's hard to actually think we can do anything about it or be part of meaningful change. But that's really one of the biggest lies that I see around us, that we get fed, that we don't have any power. It is not true. Together, when we come together as a collective, we can create serious change. And we're all being called forth. So that's what we're about here as a community at SheEO. We're here to transform ourselves and to transform systems. And over the past 14 months, we've transformed a lot as a community during this time of COVID, from one that started with the sole purpose of finding incredible women innovators, getting resources into their hands so we can help them get their brilliant solutions out into the world so that we can create more equitable systems and remedy the injustice that 2% of financial capital goes to 51% of the population. It's one of the small, or maybe very big, injustices among a sea of things that really need to change out there. And as we've gotten into relationship with one another, having ventures and activators, all of us together in one community, we've funded over 100 businesses since we started, and we've learned a lot about the challenges and the biases that ventures have been facing, the uphill battle they have in their work to shift systems. And as we've gotten into relationship, we've all collectively reflected on our own journeys and the challenges that we've faced. And we've started to share our stories out loud with one another. And this has led to us doing weekly community calls across the 5 countries that we're in. And we've started to share our power and our resources with one another, which is awakening a collective understanding that we have all that we need here to transform systems and ourselves. We have so much out there. There's so many resources in the world. We know there's enough to go around. An example we can all understand, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard before, is that there is enough food grown in the world to feed everybody, but it's not evenly distributed. And how we organize and distribute our resources is part of the change that we're here to work on. So that's what we've done at SheEO. We've reorganized ourselves into what we call an ecosystem. where each of us steps into this community with whatever we have to give. So for me, it's connections. For Jessie, it's her exuberant get to action. For Echo, who's our Indigenous lead, she brings her Indigenous wisdom. For others, it's their access to influencers or providing emotional support, a whispered, "You've got this," when someone's having a really bad day. All of these things matter in our community, our lived experience, our gifts we bring together. And we focus on getting these resources into the hands of those who have been put to the margins. We've learned from each other's stories and histories and struggles so that we don't repeat what the past traumas have been, and we can create a better world. So it's a bit of an unusual thing, but we literally believe that everybody has something to give, no matter what age or stage you're at. That is our magic sauce. We contribute it freely. Whatever your gift is, you contribute it freely here in the spirit of radical generosity. We show up with love and kindness, and the results of the behavior is kind of mind-boggling. We call it SheEO magic all the time. So we have funded 107 ventures to date, women and non-binary led. They are 45% of our global portfolio is Black, Indigenous women of color. It's less than 1%, the average of Black, Indigenous women of color getting funded globally. And so here we're 45% and getting better each year. We've created 800 jobs last year across our 63 ventures, and so that reported. And they're all creating environmentally and socially sustainable jobs. Just one example is we have a venture called Better Packaging out of New Zealand, who created the world's first home compostable courier packaging. And I'm sure lots of you have ordered courier products that came from a courier in the last year. Our landfills are just exploding with all of this packaging that is not recycled and is not compostable. They created the first home compostable courier packaging. But as they got it out into the world and there was a ton of demand, they thought we can do better. And so they've just come out with a product called Polastic, which takes pollution out of the ocean. So, you know, we've heard about these big plastic islands that are floating out there. They're hiring women from Pacific Islands to take the pollution out of the ocean as the raw material to create the packaging, which then gets shipped out around the world. And it doesn't go back into the sea because it's home compostable. As they scale their business, they are healing the earth. These are the businesses of the future. That's what we're here to fund and to work on together. Together, we know that we have everything to transform ourselves, and we're very happy that you're here today. And we'd love you now to come together into groups. We're going to go into breakout groups and hear from others that are here in an ask give process. So Nat or Jessie, I'm turning it back over to you.
Yeah, so we're going to start off today with just a quick opportunity to meet another person. We're going to go in small groups. You're going to meet a group of 2 or 3. You're going to have 4 minutes. Just take a chance to meet another person, get to know who's here, and really have an opportunity to witness some of the SheEO magic that starts to happen. After that, we'll bring you back into the main session. Vicky's going to show us sort of the experiential what is it that makes all of the things we do so special and so wonderful. And then we'll do a couple more wonderful things, and you'll hear from a venture and an activator afterwards. So going to pop you into breakout rooms now for 4 minutes, and we'll be back soon.
From the IT industry. Hi.
Welcome back.
Hi.
Welcome back, everyone. So we like to change things up here all the time at SheEO. So when you come to calls, we're always doing something a little bit different. And we're just paying attention to what the vibe is of the moment, what's happening in the world. And so we did these one-on-ones today for the first time. So if you like that, let us know in the chat. And what you learned when you were going through it. Meeting new people is always fun. So just to talk a little bit about what our process here is and what we do here. One of the things that you do when you activate is you get welcomed in, you get invited to a welcome call where you meet the other people that activated during that time. You can also ask for a one-on-one chat to learn more if you have some specific questions. Wow, there's like lots of stuff going on. Lovely to meet people. Awesome. You get invited to a one-on-one if you'd like to. And then there are various events happening each week. We have a resources page where you can go and see what's happening, what events are coming up if you'd like to join. And we have this kind of signature process called Ask Give. And it's one of the things that we notice when you have this amazing community of people here who are all sort of stepping in and wanting to be radically generous, which is to give of their gifts, you're like, we need some way to surface how to get what I need or how to find things. And one of the things that we learned in the early days was a lot of us are conditioned to not ask for help. You know, there's this whole narrative out there, you have to do everything yourself, put your head down, get it done. You should know how to do all these things. Here we're like, oh, no, no, no. Like, this is a place where you focus on what you're great at, and then you ask for help for the things that you're not. So we're going to do a little bit of a practice of this right now. It is super uncomfortable for lots of people to ask for help, but saying I'm stuck and I don't know what to ask for is an ask, just so we're clear. Everything is an ask. So I'm going to pick on somebody. All right. Everyone getting nervous now? I'm going to come at you. Who am I going to get here? Let me just have a look through here. I won't. Amy Cross, I'm calling you. Can we do this?
Well, I'm your fan, darling. Sure.
Okay.
I'll do anything
Yeah.
for you, Vicky, or in your community.
I thought I'd pick on something I know, so it's not so harsh. So Ames,
Yes.
who are you? Why are you here? And what can we do to help you? Anything you need?
Well, I'm in the Church of Vicky, and I'm also at the Church of Vicky, and well, I've known Vicky for a long time. When I heard this great idea, my whole thing is that women give up too much of their power and too much of their money to the wrong places, and we actually sort of pay our oppressors in a way. So that's why I love what Vicky was doing, is instead of just trying to fix these broken systems, is create our own system, put our own money together, penny by penny, dollar by dollar, and because it's not going to work if you try to fix the broken house. I mean, it's just going to get more broken. So I like the fact that we're building our own place. And is that enough, Vicky?
Yeah, that's great. So Ames, just you are building an organization.
Oh yes, I have a company. I forget, it's summer. I have a company based in
What
New
do
York.
you do? You're doing a thing. Yeah.
I'm a feminist from childhood. I'm a journalist, and I have a company in New York called Gender Fair. So we're sort of like fair trade for women. If you can't buy from a women or minority-owned business, if you have to buy from a big company, we tell you which big companies are less bad than others. So that's it. It's an app and a Chrome extension, and we produce this data and give it away for free, with the goal of changing it the way people spend money and changing the companies. And we are changing them, Vicky. Like Save the Children just added diversity spending to their program and added to their maternity leave just to have a higher score. So companies are using this to get better. So that's you can't just put a word on the board and say. Anyway, that's enough of me. So
Great.
lovely to meet all of you.
Is there something that you need? Can we amplify that? Can we let companies know that this is?
Yeah, well, yes, let companies know, or join my consumer revolution of women. It's sort of Lysistrata all over again, but we're going to win.
Okay.
So yes, you can download the app if you're in the United States, or email me and ask me any questions. I'll tell you which companies I'll make you a personal shopping list. I'll look at your investments and tell you don't have your money in these misogynist companies if I can.
Awesome. Thank you. And one of the things is that we make 85% of purchasing decisions as women. And so we're upholding the systems and structures when we buy from these companies. And so Amy's vision for a long time has been, let's actually shine a light on who is doing good work as companies and who aren't. And it's really starting to shift things. So thanks, Amy, for what you're doing.
Thank you.
Nat, do you want me to do one more? One more? Okay. Dana, hi. I wanted to call on you. Dana's a young Indigenous woman in our community who is a new activator. I was wondering if you could share your experience. One of the things that always blows my mind so I have been a lifelong do it myself, stay isolated. Part of my vintage was like, just go over here and do it yourself. And this community is like the way of me healing myself, but also creating this environment where we have all this support for each other. And when people like Dana activate in their early 20s, I'm like, I don't know if I ever would have given myself the gift of putting myself in a community like this to make it easier. I'd probably be like, oh, I couldn't be in a community with her. She's so special. Or look at all these women. Oh my God, I'm not ready yet. I need to do more work. So I'm always kind of in awe of the young ones coming along. So Dana, tell us, how did you decide to jump in here?
Yeah, well, you described exactly all the imposter syndrome and thoughts that come to mind about why not to do it. Though it's really, you told me once, follow the energy, and I found yours 5 years ago when I was in my undergrad and you were speaking at a conference, and you shared about SheEO. And that time I had grown up in a neighborhood where there wasn't a lot of representation of women in business or powerful women or the things that you're talking about. I had a lot of amazing, these domestic goddesses, but like that was the representation of how to make this amazing cheese tray. And like today, it's like I can do it no problem and in my sleep, but like that isn't always like my end goal and the goal that I want to be doing in life. And so when I came to university and I started to see women making a really big difference and inspiring and having that call to action, I was ready, like, and I wanted to activate then, but I didn't have the resources, and I was working 3 jobs, and I'm like, that one day is going to be the community of women that I surround myself with. I remember being in kindergarten, there's a poster that like is surround yourself with the sharpest pencils, and like I looked to your community of women, and like those are the sharp pencils and the people I want to be around to grow from and to work with and to help. So I know I only have a short amount of time and I kind of already went over. I'll share really quickly that I've gotten to participate with helping a venture in Magnus Mode and bringing it to one of my organizations that I formerly worked with in corporate Canada. They bring accessibility to physical locations for people with autism spectrum disorder or neurodiversity. And as someone with neurodiversity, it's been really helpful for me to see a movement like this come through and so many companies wanting to jump on board to make it an easier place to exist for everyone. So just like to wrap everything up, I wrote a poem since I'm a poet by day and an innovator thinker by night. So I hope you all enjoy it, about like why you should join too. Here's a story of a spirited, whimsical, and gutsy inner child, determined with an imagination, strong, pure, and wild. With 2020 shifting to no commutes and life in front of a screen, communication became globalized, and now so could our dreams. And yet that message was hard at first to hear, like a broken record in one and out the other ear. So that voice was compassionate and said, it's okay. You're a force of nature. Even the sun doesn't shine every day. Their inner voice prompted, what are you doing with your spark? You have a hope for the world. You were meant to leave a mark. Be unstoppable, be smart, be hardworking and kind. Radically generous is part of your beautiful spirit and mind. Remember the stories taught when you were unafraid, like the strength of numbers that is shown in community or a braid. It's teamwork and confidence that wins any fight. With you and some nerve, we will make the world shine bright. So I'm calling on you to help this SheEO magic grow. You are capable and powerful. Your gut already knows. Thank you all.
Okay, so now we're going to go into breakouts. You're going to meet a few people. Sorry, I was wrong before. It's a little chaotic today. We're going to go into breakouts. You're going to meet 2 or 3 people, and we'll be there for about 15, 20 minutes, and then we're going to come back into the main room. So please enjoy.
Amazing. Welcome back, everyone. Vicky, over to you. She here?
And she's on mute. There we go. Hi. So if you would love, we would love to hear from you just in the chat. Did you meet anyone interesting? How was it? If you wouldn't mind sharing a couple of comments. One of the things that was surprising in our room, we had a big room, and I'm always blown away by the sort of magic of asks. Somebody asked if someone knew any freight forwarders so they could check what their freight prices were and if there were better deals out there. And of course, someone knew a freight forwarder in our room. We have people interested in rewilding the city, just like a whole mix of a very diverse group. So that was really, really exciting. So let's see what people are putting into the chat. Yeah. I wonder, Nisa, how are you?
Hey everyone, I'm good.
Bring you into the circle. Do you want to, Nisa is one of our ventures from New Zealand. Would you like to tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah. Hi everyone. My name is Alicia. I run a social enterprise and underwear label called Nisa. I'm actually in the factory right now. So I really like, that's the bar tech machine. I've got the overlocker I can hear. And then we've got a customer, I think, over there. It's a little bit hectic. So most of our staff are from refugee and migrant backgrounds. We make a lot of different products in our workshop. We make underwear, swimwear, soon to be activewear. We're releasing that really soon. So it's a really exciting time at the workshop. I have been I was selected as a venture last year, and it was actually my second time applying. So I got lucky the second time around, and it's been the most amazing journey for me and for the rest of the team. So all of our staff are women, and so to feel like supported by a much wider community of women all around the world is so powerful. And because we've got such a diverse team, as I mentioned, most of our staff are from refugee and migrant backgrounds, just feeling that love from all corners of the world as well is so special. I think the thing that's meant the most to me on a personal level as the CEO has been, as a venture, has been MJ's support. So she meets up with me for an hour every 2 weeks. And recently I said, oh, how long does this actually go on for? Am I like turfed out when the next lot of ventures comes around? And she's like, no, it just keeps on going for however long you want. And I was just like, oh my God.
For those who don't know, for those who don't know, MJ, we have development guides that are kind of like coaches who support the ventures on the journey. So we're all here to support as well, but they're in a regular cadence of calls a couple of times a month. And helping the ventures to sort out what is the highest and best use of their leadership in the short term. And she's incredible. Yeah.
Totally. So I think that's probably been the thing that's had the most personal impact on us and everything that we do. And then feeling this wider aroha or love from the SheEO community, and just that ask give model actually works. I think that's what it feels almost, it sounds too good to be true, but it actually is true. I guess my ask for you guys today is that we are 180 followers off 10,000 followers on our Instagram. And I think everyone in this room, if you all followed our page, we could get there. And once we get to 10,000 followers, all of this cool Instagram functionality starts to unravel. So I will put the link in the chat for you guys. But yeah, that's enough for me. I'm actually also now an activator as of a month ago. So exciting times for me. And I'll be joining you guys more soon.
We're thrilled to have you in as an activator and as an inventor. Thank you so much. I wonder, do we have 2 minutes, Nat and Jesse? Yeah, okay. Winona, could I call on you to say hi? Sorry, I'm throwing you in the mix here.
No, hi everyone. So excited to be here for another global activation event. Winona Satcher, actually a recent US venture this year. Super excited to be part of the SheEO ecosystem and acknowledged to be working on the world's to-do list. I am located in Atlanta, Georgia, USA, and I am CEO and founder of Maker Studio, which is a design, build, green manufacturing company. We take shipping containers and recycle them into really cool real estate spaces, especially around affordable housing and workforce development. But so glad to be here. And really, one of the cool things during the breakout session was speaking with Abigail, who works with Tandem, and I was just telling her and the rest of the group that one of the things I love about SheEO is how they're bringing not just connections to other amazing women, but also what I consider wraparound services to make sure that ventures like myself continue, and the founders of ventures continue to progress, and to be innovative, and to grow and to scale sustainably. And so in addition to MJ's coaching, we also receive support from organizations and companies like Tandem to help us understand our financials, tell our narrative through financials in a way that we can be more confident in asking for funding, not just through SheEO, but also to other potential funders, investors, and just thinking differently about how we even tell our story financially, which is critical to being a sustainable company. So that has been a huge help to me and how we're growing, actually positioning ourselves to grow quickly. So really proud to be part of the SheEO family, and hope that I can continue to also give and support entrepreneurs as they come along, and potentially new activators as well. So thank you to all the activators for what you do, and looking forward to continuing my support as both a venture and hopefully an activator as we grow our company.
Thanks so much, Winona. Thanks. So you've heard a couple of examples tonight. So we are here. It's a very simple process to become an activator. You go to our website, you put in your credit card. It's $92 a month. You're on a subscription monthly, and you are invited to a welcome call where you're welcomed into this community. You get a sense of all the different, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's completely on your own terms. It's not a full-time job. It could be, but it's not. It's up to you what you want to do. You can jump in and join some of these calls, the learning that you're interested in. There's social justice and racial justice. There's mindset shifting. There's a lot of not courses, but there's a lot of learning circles around how we use our power with one another, how we deal with money, how we're here shifting systems. So lots of interesting things. One of the favorite things, we're in the voting process right now, the first round of voting down under in New Zealand and Australia. It is so much fun to read the amazing ideas that people have that they're out in market with. We never hear about these businesses, right? Because they don't get written up in the magazines. We just put like the next young dude with the hoodie who dropped out of Harvard, wherever. And there's tons of businesses, Winona, using shipping containers to create affordable housing. Like all of these new, really interesting, innovative ideas that are coming up across the community that have been discovered by women like you in this network, voted on, and then supported. So our shared project is supporting these innovators, and the larger community is really here to support one another, and all of you are welcome. If you have any questions, there's going to be a poll after, I believe, and you're going to be able to say, I'd like to talk to somebody one-on-one because I have 14 questions that didn't get answered today. That's totally fine. You can do that. If you want to just jump in and become an activator, you can do that by going to the website. You're all welcome. And so I'm now going to turn it to Jessie to close. Thanks for being here too today.
Thank you so much, Vicki. So we're going to launch a quick poll, just as Vicki mentioned. So in a moment, you'll see pop up on your Zoom screen 3 simple questions. The first is, we'd love to hear if you connected with women and non-binary folks today in your breakout group or in your one-on-one pair that you'd like to keep in touch with. The second question is, we'd love to hear if you're interested in getting involved beyond today, activating, reactivating, applying as a venture. For those entrepreneurs, venture applications in Canada and the US will open in September, and in Australia and New Zealand, they just closed, but they will reopen next fall in your time zone. And the last question is, as Vicki mentioned, for those who are interested in activating, we'd love to hear if you would like to have a one-on-one call with another activator to learn more, hear about their personal experience, and ask any questions that you might have. So with that, while you're all completing that, I also would love to invite us to take a group photo. If you've been on one of these calls before, you know how this goes. Special shout out to everyone in my breakout group who is joining today for the first time. So I'm going to go full screen here, and I invite you to share a gesture. So much happened on this call today. One-on-one pairs, we practiced asking for help and offering support, heard lots of inspiring stories. Dana's poem was incredible. So much positive messages for that. So we'd love to see a gesture that represents how you're feeling in this moment. On the count of 3, love seeing those big smiles. 1, 2, 3. Yes, feel free to wave, thumbs up, 1, 2, 3. Mary Len's waving wildly. Another one, 1, 2, 3. And oh my, we have 5 screens. 1, 2, 3. Keep those hands up. And last screen, 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much, everyone. We will be sending you a follow-up email with links to get involved. We're always available if you have any questions about activating or applying, and we would love to welcome many of you to our radically generous global community. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day or your evening to join us, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thanks. Have a great day.